In order to talk about stool and urine exiting our body, it's important to know where the pelvic floor muscles are and what they do. Our pelvis is this bony structure. The back, the tailbone, the hip bones that you feel on either side, and the pubic symphysis in front is where these two large bones connect. The pelvic floor muscles are a group of muscles that act as almost a sling or a bowl at the bottom of our pelvis. The pelvic floor muscles are just that, muscles, which means they can contract and get tight or relax and get loose. During the day, when we are walking around, sitting in a classroom, or participating in a sport, our pelvic floor muscles should be tight. They should be turned on to support our core and also to prevent any stool or urine from being pushed out during activities. However, when we want to use the restroom and let things out, these pelvic floor muscles need to relax to allow our holes to open and to allow the urine and the stool to exit. Stool evacuates because we first relax our musculature, including the pelvic floor, and then to have a bowel movement, we then create a tiny bit of pressure in our abdomen and we bear down, we generate a push. This pressure, combined with the opening we created with our relaxed pelvic floor, allows stool to be pushed out. Urine evacuates in a slightly different way. Our bladder is a muscle itself. Like the muscle of the small intestine and the heart, the bladder is made of smooth muscle. This means we don't have control over when it contracts or when it relaxes. When we sit and relax our pelvic floor muscles on the toilet, a message is sent to the bladder that now is a good time to empty. Then the brain receives a message that you are sitting on the toilet, and the brain then sends a message to the bladder instructing it to contract. As the bladder contracts and the pelvic floor is relaxed and out of the way, the squeezing bladder is able to push the urine out on its own. Urination is a passive process for us. Other than sitting and relaxing, we don't need to be an active participant. Think of a balloon that has been blown up, which you are holding onto the small opening and it hasn't been tied shut. Your fingers are clamped at the opening, act as your pelvic floor muscles, and your balloon is the bladder. Once you relax your fingers, the balloon engages and squeezes the air and is able to get out of the hole that is open because of the relaxed pelvic floor. So the urine is pushed out of the bladder. In general, if there's no relaxation, the holes are unable to open and nothing can get out, stool or urine. If our pelvic floor muscles are not able to get out of the way, but we still want to evacuate stool and urine, we can push and create pressure in our abdomen. The problem with that is that often, in order to generate enough pressure to get the stool and urine out, we create other problems in our body, and toileting typically becomes worse because of this dysfunctional habit. If a person continues to generate pressure to get urine and stool out without relaxing the pelvic floor muscles, the body essentially learns that leaking urine and stool past a tight pelvic floor is how to evacuate urine and stool out. This is when non-purposeful leakage of urine or stool can become a challenge for someone.